Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala Nabi Muhammad, ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa ba'd. Alhamdulillah, today we have a special guest, our Shaykh Talib Abdullah, hafidhahullah ta'ala. And today, inshallah ta'ala, with the Shaykh, we want to present to him some questions as it relates to his time in studying in Medina, his time in da'wah, and that which relates to that, inshallah ta'ala. So the first question, Shaykh, could you tell us, what year did you embrace Islam? And how did that come about?
I'm a child in the 60s, and so there was always some turmoil about things that made me curious. There were subjects that I didn't agree with. There were subjects I didn't agree with, so I began to search the truth of them. First subject, what's the essence of good and evil? Where does it come from? Is it in race? Is it in people? Second thing was about the life of Jesus. And the third thing was life after death. What happens after death? So I began to search. I actually went to the Catholic Church. I sat in church. I watched them. I was in synagogue. I watched the catchers sing in Hebrew, I guess what they did. And I read something about the Gita, which is the Hindu book about Hinduism. Not being able to find my answers there, I wandered in an alternative school in Harlem, New York. And it's called the Academy of Transition. And there is where I first heard the names Islam, the Qur'an, not with the meaning, and meaning that those are Sharia words. Those are words from Sharia. So someone's going to say those words. It wasn't the meaning from that Sharia. So since it didn't have the meaning, still that we kind of lost. But one day, we went on a field trip from the school. It was to a project in Harlem, and the field trip was Jummah. So we went and sat down at Jummah. We sat behind the screen, and I watched these men do Salaf. And what amazed me about it was they were not the same in any way. And they were standing just in one line together, doing the same thing, but they weren't the same in any way. And it made me curious about why they were doing that. What religion has them to come together like that, peacefully, and do what they did. So I bought a Qur'an, but then I began to read about it. Now in Harlem, that false cult religion was prevalent there at the time. I'm speaking of the NOI. And so
the Nation of Islam.
The Nation of Islam. And they had books there, Muhammad Ali, I think they call it, Transition
right.
The Quran, they had that. And they had other books from the Ahmadiyya religion. One called Jesus in India, because they claimed that Jesus was in India. And another crazy books. And not being able to find the truth there, I began to search. And so this went on.
So excuse me, so you knew from the start that the NOI wasn't upon the correct Islam, Orthodox Islam. You saw that.
I saw it. I didn't know it.
Okay.
I didn't like them personally.
Right.
They weren't inviting people. They were forceful.
Right.
They had a way of speaking to people in a way which wasn't inviting.
Absolutely.
And I was kind of, I was a kid, so they didn't attract me anyway. And even their look, I mean, the shaved face and the bow ties, and that looked college to me. We would make fun of something like that. The ones that were sent to the youth were known as the 5% Nation. They were actually among the youth. They were actually a youth movement. And so they were put, but here again, saying you're going to obey certain things and not obeying it, for me was a turn off. I wanted to be better. So you say you're not going to eat pork, you say you're not going to drink wine, you say you're not going to use drugs, and then still doing it. And at that time, names became called like Rahim and Rahman, give people names and that kind of thing. Didn't appeal to me. When I went to college, I went to Iowa State University.
Iowa State, okay.
Iowa State
Midwest.
In the Midwest, yeah. So I from New York went there. It was there that biology teacher was teaching this level of biology, and every time he would say something, he would say it was a system. This system, that system, the system. So my mind would say, he's saying it's a system. So he's admitting that this is a systematic creation. And from there, so okay, so you recognize that it's a system. So who created the system? Where did the system come from? And eventually, I had a friend of mine, Abdullah Bowles. I was speaking to him about the religion, about Islam. And then so one day, I was sitting in my place, sitting in my married student housing. And so today, I can't avoid this any longer. I've got to go and do this now. I know it's true. I've got to go and do it now. So I got up, I went to student union, I said, I want to be a Muslim. The man was an Indian man. He said, stay right there and wait. Don't move. He went and brought some other students back, and he said, the first question he asked me shows the beauty of Islam. I'm in my 20s. He said, does your mother and father know that you're going to do this? Now, I'm on my own. You know, in the West, you're on your own. But he referred me back to my parents. First thing he did was do that. Do they know you're going to do this? Strange question to me. I'm on my own, so to speak. But to a Muslim, I owe them some explanation of what I'm going to do with my life. Even if I'm old, I still owe them some respect. So I said, no, I hadn't told them. And I went till I was married to my wife. And I'm going to do this. She said, well, because like you today, I wasn't stable in my decisions. I would do something and then change it, do something and then change it. She wasn't going to do that with religion, so I can't do that. So she would not do it. You're not going to do this and then drop off and do something else later on. I said, okay. So I went outside. I had a 1963 Biscayne station wagon, a Chevy. Got in the back of the Chevy. I took the shahada with the brother in the Chevrolet.
MashaAllah.
And then, what year?
And what year was that, Sheikh?
1972.
1972. So, how did you come to learn about the Islamic University of Medina? And what year did you get accepted and travel to Medina?
That takes some thinking. They have a thing in Australia about going walkabout. That's what they call it. After I went walkabout for a while, which means I'm traveling around going to find myself. I wound up in North Carolina. And in Durham, North Carolina, I heard that 3 of my friends were accepted to go study in Saudi Arabia. I heard about them. One of them is still there. He's still there now. He's my age. He's still there. He has business in Riyadh or Jeddah. In Jeddah. So I asked them how they did it. At that time, the MSA were accepting letters, and they would take the letters and because they had sponsorship from the kingdom, and they would take the letters and decide who they were going to apply for, and they would apply to the university for that person. And then began, so it wasn't like it is now. You had to go to, the educational attaché was in Texas.
Okay, now.
Yeah, it was in Texas. So, and then the embassy was in Washington.
Okay.
So you began that. So at first, I wrote a letter to them saying I wanted to go study. Especially when they came back. They came back and gave me an orientation of what I would see. My goodness, I wouldn't go through culture shock.
Wow.
Yeah, it was necessary. And so he came back and I sat down with him. He told me, it's like this. I said, okay. And then I was accepted first to, this is 1979, 1979.
1979.
No, it's earlier than that. It's earlier than 1979. I don't remember that, because by the time...
Late 1970s.
That's good. Late 1970s. Late 1970s.
Okay.
So I was accepted what was known first, it was called the University of Riyadh.
Okay.
Jamiat Riyadh it was called.
Okay.
I heard the name was changed later.
Okay.
But at that time it was Jamiat Riyadh. So I was accepted into the language program. I had the visa was in my passport.
Okay.
I got on the plane with no money hardly. I bring my hydrant. Nothing. So I got on the plane and flew from New York to London. And there were no
Street flights,
no
direct flights.
no direct flights. So I flew from New York to London.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I would see the Hujjaj, it was high season. So I saw the Hujjaj.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time I ever seen that. So I landed in London, I saw it in London.
Well, people wearing ihram.
Yeah,
and
yes.
like that.
And the different shades of henna. There are all kinds of shades of henna.
Yeah.
So I sat and watched them. Then I got on a plane in London, and from London to Riyadh. Still, I couldn't read my visa, didn't know where I was going. So a man sat down next to me, and we talked. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Riyadh." He said, "Where are you going?" I gave him the passport. I said, "Oh, you're going to Medina, section of Riyadh. You're going to Medina." I said, "Yeah." So okay. Take care of yourself like that. So landed in Riyadh. They had signs in Arabic. Could I read the signs? I can't read the passport, and I'm standing there. Now what? The hand reached out and said, "Come on." It was in there I sat next to him in the plane. He grabbed me, and he got into a deuce in the corner. You know what that is? No. Yeah. It's a new Buick deuce. Everybody, elders know what I'm talking about. So from nothing, I was sitting in a black deuce in the corner with a sunroof.
Oh, hey, Shaykh.
The old Shaykh know what I'm talking about. It's a Buick. It's a 225 Buick. In mashallah, the cars are still very nice in the Middle East.
Absolutely.
So that was a nice car. So I got the car. I had one bag in my second car. Put the sunroof back. So okay, alhamdulillah, I'm here. Riding in Riyadh. And so he pulled up to an old neighborhood. So the house was still clayish, I guess you could say neighborhood clay. He pulled up to an old neighborhood. I got out of the car. And all I can say is As-Salamu Alaikum in Arabic. So he put me in a room with some young fellas. And some of the houses don't have roofs. So ventilation will come from the ceiling into the house and ventilate the house with heat. And this is one of those houses I can see the stars straight up, no roof. So I'm looking, and he told me in Arabic, "I was in America, and just come, young boys, they're looking at me." So okay, this is America. So they're watching soccer.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there. So I think it's for them. And they're all sitting there. And then they led me back to a room where I would sleep at night. Myself and the blind man in the room. So I set the room. So the first time I would hear the van call across the city would be that next morning was Fajr. The first time I ever heard that van call across the whole country. That was something new. But I didn't know what the Masjid was. So the blind man got up, and I followed the blind man out the door to the Masjid.
Blind man, he walks to the Masjid.
The blind man walked in. I followed him out. So I followed him out, and he when the Masjid prayed, the Masjid was old. They would make roofs from the trunks of the palm trees, and that's the kind of Masjid. The floor wasn't even what do you call it? Wasn't even level. So I prayed my first prayer in Riyadh was Fajr.
So Shaykh, with the blind man, he went out to pray. What excuses anybody else have? The one that's healthy and
Don't know. We took that dark street, and I followed him to the Masjid. He got up. I got up and went back to the room, and you could sleep until that sun came over the horizon. And once my first sunny day, pow! It was like an alarm clock.
Absolutely.
That he hit me. I woke up. I woke up.
Yeah.
I had my first breakfast. I ate beans for dinner, but this time I eat beans for breakfast. Food and jelly. On that Somalian bread.
Yeah. Nah.
That's good food, but for somebody who's gaseous, it's not so cool. So, so I ate that, and the man came back and got me. The brother came back and got me. I forget his name, and took me to Midlands, took me to the office, took me to the German office.
So you stayed one night
with
mashallah.
With
Yeah, mashallah.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
They took me to the registration office. Here again, I still can't speak. a young man came out. What's his name? Muhammad. I forget his last name. His father. He was South African. So he spoke English, of course. He said, "Where are you going?" So I'm new. So let me take you around. So he took me around to get my papers scanned and get him to get a room. So I got my room, and I was set. Muhammad, there's a book. I don't bring a dark side to this. His father had been an Imām in South Africa, and he'd been working with the AMC. His father was captured and tortured and killed. The book about his father is still out. It's called Death of the Imām. Harun. Muhammad Harun is his name. His father's name, Imam Harun. South African government grabbed him and questioned him about his dealing with what's the guy's name? The famous one.
Nelson Mandela.
Bill Mandela's group. So they to make him talk, they heard him.
Yeah.
So
Apartheid.
threw me apartheid. So he was my friend, and he took me around and got me in. So it was Hajj time, and we were sitting in the room. They said, "Okay, Hajj time. All you guys are going to Hajj." And so going to Hajj, there were some stereotypes about Hajj in that time. You fall, you die, you can travel.
Absolutely.
So I'm scared.
Right.
It's my time to go to Hajj.
Right.
So I said, "Well, I haven't got any money." "We got you." I haven't got a money bill here. They gave me a money bill. I got no shoes. Where the flip flops you got on? Put them on. So now I haven't got the haram. Get the haram. So I did haram. I had the money bill. There was no money. And I had shoes, and I had no more excuses. So I had a school bus. I rode a school bus from Riyadh to Mecca in a school bus. We stopped overnight one night, slept in an abandoned school, and slept there on the floor that night. Got up and back on the bus and off to Mecca. First time. In the 70s. That's a Hajj in 1978. No tunnels. No tunnels.
I was born that year.
You're born that year?
78.
There are no tunnels. It's walk everywhere. There were no tunnels. There were no tunnels. What you see now is hotels. They were all mountains. There were no hotels, all mountains. And so,
That first Hajj, Sheikh, could you remember meeting anyone from the ulama? And I know you were new, but could you recall anything? And was anyone pointed out to you from the ulama? Okay. Alhamdulillah.
I was busy trying not to be injured. I was slow. I was trying to be. I was so you can't tell quiet, or I was trying to be non-violent.
Right.
and keep myself well. I was sick at the time.
So Sheikh, so that was Riyadh. So
yes.
how did you end up going from Jamiat Riyadh to Jamiat Islamiyah? How did that happen? And what year was that?
That was 1979, I believe.
So you remained in Jamiat Riyadh how long?
About 2 years.
So you did stay in Riyadh 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the Navy program. I went back. I came home, drove a cab, took care of my family, my wife and my 2 daughters were there.
Okay.
I came back.
They were in North Carolina.
They were North Carolina. I came, drove cab, gave them money, and then went back to Riyadh. And all the time I was trying to bring them, but they told me, "You're not going to bring your family." I said, "Okay." I just went over and I worked in the summertime. My brother was still doing that. I came home, worked sometimes, and then went back.
That takes a level of resolve, Sheikh, to leave your family, leave your family and go study. It takes sacrifice and resolve.
I tried to quit. My little girl, my oldest daughter, who's now 50 years old, she won't let me tell her that. My 50-year-old daughter. She would cry whenever I would call home. She would say, "Where are you, Daddy?" She would cry. And every time she would do that, I would say, I can't do it. I can't stay anymore. I can't do it. So last month I was kept there in my country to stay. So I stayed. Something happened. There was I would see men make excuses about why they had to quit. I see men make excuses. It always had to do with the emotions of someone needed them back home, even though they were there. Something happened in front of me one day. I understand it now. Wani was involved in the whole student issue. This is the World Assembly of
Muslim. Yeah, right.
They had headquarters in Riyadh.
Right.
And
WAM is the acronym, exactly. Yep.
The World Assembly of Muslim Youth. So one man decided he was going to quit. So I put the spreadsheet. He's leaving. His wife is sick and he's leaving. I said, okay, I'm leaving too. So I packed. I went with him to the office. And a strange thing happened. He got in there, and the man said, "Ahmed Katunji." He said, "So what do you want? You don't want to go home?" He said, "Why?" He said, "My wife is sick." He said, "So?" It didn't even faze him. I'm used to men going, "Your wife is sick, but we're gonna do something about this. Poor girl sick." He was like, "So?" He said, "She might die." He said, "What can you do about that?" There was nothing, no excuse he would take. It didn't move him. He wasn't emotional. His issue was, you came here to do what you came to do. Do what you need to do. And that's the first time I'd seen that. Man, this is what you gotta do. That's what she's there, and you're here, and now that's happening to her, and you can't change it. So therefore, finish your job. And when he got through, and then he said something. He said, "You know what? Allah help me. You Americans, you come here and you stay a little while and you go back. You're gonna mess that up, And I'm the one to raise the money for you to come, and you come and you stay and you leave. Paula, what do you want? I don't want nothing. I want nothing. I want to leave the room. What I want to do, change my mind.
So mashallah, you benefited from that advice.
Yeah, I did.
That situation. Alhamdulillah.
And I went outside. And there was an old book in the sand, and I picked it up. And I couldn't read it. I blew the sand off of it. And it was
Should I sound to me?
No. Okay. So I put it in my knapsack. No one had it, so I took it. And then a year passed. I went back. And listen, but I came back. At that time, two graduates from Jamia Islamiyah, both in Dawah. Bilal Phillips and Abdullah Hakim Quick. They graduated at the same time. They came to Riyadh. Bilal came to Riyadh to be a master's degree student, and Quick came to Riyadh to be part of a teaching program. They had a teaching program there in Riyadh. So they came. And when they came, they began to teach Tawheed. Certain aspects of Tawheed. They taught the categories of Tawheed, and they taught that. Hearing that, that was a step up from what I had been. I'm really arrogant, but hearing that, the truth of that, they want to go wherever they got that, I want to go there. So it's we're from Jamia Islamiyah, okay? But if you go there, you can't play. It's work. You got to work, okay? So then, I went with Quick to Medina.
Oh, you guys traveled together to Medina?
Did to Medina, yeah. What had just happened in the Hajj, Joe Hammond, his name was, they had just attacked the Kaaba.
79, yeah.
So this is all happening all at the same time.
Yeah,
We're traveling and going to Mecca, from Mecca to Medina. This is all happening at the same time.
Yeah, there were rough times in the kingdom, yeah.
It was.
They took over the Haram Mecca.
Took over Haram Mecca.
Kill people and stuff
I
like
did.
that, yeah.
Kill people, yeah. I killed people. So I was telling the brothers, it's fitting. It was fitting. They got out, people, and I understand it's fear. They never had that fear like that before.
Absolutely.
In a modern age. I'm 28 years old. Why is a 28-year-old in the kingdom saying he's a student? So that places a certain on who am I really? This is some conspiracy to overturn the country, and who are you? You guys, who old guys are everything. Who are you really? Like that. So I'm not about the odds of the past. We were safe. And then
So Sheikh, you went to Medina. You traveled to Medina.
Yes.
To that first. So when you went there, was it just just checking the university out and seeing what it had to offer, or was it? Did you go to actually apply?
I went to apply.
Oh, you went to apply.
I went
Okay.
to apply, yeah.
Okay.
I was sure, especially after I landed and went to Medina. here again, what you see now is bigger. What I saw was a quaint, quiet city that I felt the peace in. I felt the relationship. I'm gonna be here. Me and my wife, when I told her about it, she said, yeah, okay, I want to go there. I said, it's really peaceful here. And I felt peace. And the hotel was such that during Hajj, the small hotel, you could come out of the hotel door and be in the rank of the Salah of the Haram. Straight to the Haram. And so it was peaceful.
Yeah, that was before the expansion. Yeah.
Before the expansion.
Yeah.
There were shops every few feet, gold shop, or number one herb, you could buy it there. Now you make sure the man is giving you number one herb. You gotta talk him into it. I want you number one. Yeah, sure you do. Yeah, try out number 5. You get number 5. That's not number 5. I want number 1. So one drop, you can share with you and your friend, and you smell the room. You smell the room. That herb, that really expensive herb.
Right.
So I was finishing my second year in Riyadh. I went back to the United States, getting ready to come back to Riyadh. I got a phone call, and the brother said, "Hey, they're looking for you. People in Medina, you've been accepted."
MashaAllah.
I have. So it's 2 days I was able to stay in the United States longer. I hadn't been in the United States in spring in 3 years. So this is springtime, so I just stayed. By my time, then I would apply and leave. Register late. So I stayed with my family. Then I went.
So that first year, were you able to take your wife and kids?
No.
Okay.
That was another story. But they would take them. So I hope it won't be taken as Riyadh. But as I told them, I said, you know what? I didn't miss it. The Hajj. Not one night between the time I got there till they came. Excuse me. Not one. I said, don't miss that. Keep asking for that. I kept asking for them to come. I kept asking. And to come. So whoever doubts that Allah answers prayers, you're doing the wrong thing. You have to have your game. Unless I had it, it was something I wanted, I had no other way of getting it. If Allah takes things from you think you want, and you think you need, He takes it from you for your good. And He took it from you. It doesn't hurt you. Everything that comes from Allah is good. Everything. So just keep praying for it, keep asking for it. And the President just said, I'm going to allow you. And the other time there was a fight between the Philippines, between the Moro Liberation Front and the Filipinos. So the Filipinos, he allowed them to come, South Africa, he allowed them to come, and some Europeans. Anybody who was in a place where my family might have been in danger,
They allowed them to
he
come.
allowed them to come. So I got the visa for me and my wife and 2 daughters.
So Sheikh, since you already had completed the Arabic language program in Riyadh, so when you got to Medina, you went straight to Kulliyah.
No, I went. They extended it. Put me
So the Mahad Law.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And everything was dealing with Tawheed. The verse of the Quran was dealing with Tawheed. And so I didn't spend long. I didn't spend long. It was 6 months when I was out. I had the background for it. My next challenge was I going to Jamia or going to the Plenary?
Okay.
So once I went and got them and brought them, and we landed in Medina, I asked a friend of mine from Ethiopia, I said, you think I said, I have an opportunity to go down to the Kuwait, or should I go? Because then you could go to the high school. You never go straight to the council, so I should go to high school. High school for Arabic, to get more knowledge about Arabic, and also so my children would stay longer, that would be 7 years instead of 4 years.
Right.
So I said, okay, so I put myself in high school. So I went to high school for 3 years.
Allah, so you studied in Thanawiyyah.
Yeah, I did. That was
I never knew that shit.
That was interesting.
Because Thanawiyyah, majority, so when I was there, majority of students in Thanawiyyah were Sardine.
Really?
They were the majority. You had a few Ajam, you know. But was it like that during your time, or what?
No.
Okay, so
they were the Armenia. They were the minorities.
That's
And the
interesting.
majority come from African countries.
They were in the Thanawiyyah.
Yeah, African
Wow, that's
countries.
interesting.
So learn how to recognize teachers writing on the board. And it was fast. It's all kind of what is that? You know, I didn't recognize that. Then the books were very summarized. But it has a different issue in every few words. Every few words. Change the issue like that. You have to read that.
Yeah. How many methods?
Yes.
No.
We had that. We had Qasr Nada was our book at Nah. Qasr Nada. Now I'm ready to sit down with the teacher and go through the book. I'm ready now. Then it was like I could have passed. Sweat. We had we had then we had English.
Did you?
English was popping up in there. And in the physical class, we had to get to pass. I group studied. Every house I would go. Brothers from Hurraira and Kulia, I sat with them, and some of the students in high school. When it came to English, they said, "Anta sahib al-mawdu'." So you're the owner of the time, so you're in the middle. So I teach teach the. They cry. This is not bad. We're not here to study English. So.
What would you say, Sheikh, that your most memorable moments when you were in Medina?
The first one was to realize that Tawheed was the center of the whole religion. That it happened independently. In our class was Kitab Tawheed. All the classes at every stage had a different level of the study of Tawheed. So then it was Kitab Tawheed in high school for 3 years. Now I'm sitting one day, what they call it, an epiphany? That's what they call it.
No.
Okay, so this is the problem, or the solution. You have to be close to Tawheed. And I learned that in Medina, and didn't learn that. I didn't come ready-made from the United States. I learned that in the university. That's where I learned it. And once that was clear, that was being able to memorize Surah Yasin was another high point. In the United States, if you had Juz Amma, you would be a man.
Right.
If you knew Juz Amma, you would be a man. If you could talk and had Juz Amma memorized, you automatically. But to be able to memorize Surah Yasin, I really can do this. If I just apply myself, I memorize, it'll keep coming. So that was being able to do that. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Sheikh, when you were there, was Sheikh Ibn Baz the president of the Germantown?
He's the president, yes.
And I believe Sheikh Al-Bab was the vice president.
Yes.
Tremendous days in Germantown at that time.
Did you have any opportunities to sit with Sheikh Ibn Baz?
Yes. When I lived in Riyadh, he lived in Riyadh. Yes. But he opened his homes to people. So we had dinner with him. We ate with him in Riyadh and ate with him in Taif also. He would be in Taif. So I actually flew to Taif. I went to Taif there and sat in his presence right on that.
So Sheikh, you've heard statements and people have come back. Alhamdulillah, you just spoke about the importance that you realized in Medina, the importance of Tawheed, but you found individuals that came back and who belittle the importance of Tawheed and teaching Tawheed in the books of Tawheed and things like that. What would you say about that?
If they claim to be students of the world, they don't understand. If they understood and they came up with it, they weren't sincere. More time if they did that. Everything led back to it. Everything. And I'm still studying. I lived long enough to try to understand what I learned years ago. There's more coming once. It becomes later.
Question, Sheikh, alhamdulillah. So, you've been Muslim for, mashallah, many decades. Alhamdulillah, you've been teaching in various masajid. How do you view the growth of the da'wah now compared to when you first came home in comparison?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The growth is greater now because of the confidence that people have in going to Riyadh. That was the part that was missing. You have people coming back and would assume authority over knowledge of religion. Didn't have that authority over knowledge of religion. It's after we were all able to have our actual fathers teach us. There's no more missing fathers, but our fathers in the religion. That's a true statement. When Shaykh Obeid died, rahimahullah, I mean, he didn't know me, but he helped me in so many ways. This was when asking him a question about my situation. He answered my question. I was in a hospital in Coatesville, Maryland. He answered a question for me about my situation from Medina, and I was in Coatesville. So it was like my father would. So the interest of the Riyadh, be able to contact them and talk with them and be sure that their upbringing was about this religion, without the taint of other things or societies. That's been the greatest part of it, yes.
Also, being the Imam specifically of Germantown, you see the development in the area, a change?
I do see, alhamdulillah, more clarity, alhamdulillah. There's more clarity, I would say. Keep it short, there's more clarity, alhamdulillah. There's more of that, alhamdulillah. And then with the addition of technology, which makes it simpler and easier, technology is being used to spread it now. We have that advantage now, alhamdulillah.
What do you think with regards to moving forward and trying to remain firm upon what we learn from the Qur'an and the Sunnah with the understanding of the Salaf, with the fatwa and the directions of scholars, especially the senior scholars like Shaykh Al-Albani, Shaykh Ibn Baz, Shaykh Al-Uthaymin, Shaykh Muqbil, Shaykh Fawzan, Shaykh Abdul Muhsin, Shaykh Rabi, Shaykh Ubaid and others. The importance of trying to adhere to that way and not being influenced by current trends that are out there. Any nasiha?
The Shaykh wrote a book about the minhaj of tafkir in his religion, how to think about things, how to see events, tafkir and waqir. And that, when he lists those issues, the first issue is that a person must remain, have ikhlas. He said the second issue, he has to have a good assumption about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which opens up his optimism about his religion. If he doesn't assume the good of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be pessimistic about issues. Then he said the Messenger of Allah showed us how to think and see issues, the ever-changing issues. They never change for us. He said, whoever lives after me, فعليكم بسنتي سنة الخلفاء الراشدين ممسكوا عليها
المهديين عضوا عليها بالنواجذ.
So he said that if it's 500 years after his death, if it's 1,000 years after his death, 1,446 years after his death, that remains to be the solution. That's the outlook. That's what you think about it. They change, you hold on. They do this, you hold on. That's the solution. Hold on to it. Assume the best of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hold on to the sunnah of the Prophet and the Khulafa al-Rashidin. Then he said a person must remain and be optimistic. And remain optimistic about it.
بارك الله فيكم.
جزاكم الله خير. جزاكم الله خير.